Hello everyone, I am Parul. In your subject PPS, Programming for Problem Solving, this is your first unit, Introduction to Computer and Programming. In this unit, we will learn Introduction to Computers, concept of hardware and software, types of software, what is compiler, interpreter, what is there are various types level of programming. Then last topic will be flowchart and algorithm. So first, let us start with a computer. Can you define the computer in simplest term? Think about it. What would be definition of a computer in simplest term? So I would like to say that a computer is a programmable device that can store, retrieve and process the data. So guys, computer, what does mean a computer word? A computer is a Latin word which means to compute, which means to compute. It operates under a control of an instruction written in its own memory unit that can accept data, manipulate the data according to specified rules, and produce information from the processing and store the result for future use. This is a block diagram of a computer. Over here you can see that there is a two kind of arrows, solid arrows that represent a data flow, whereas the dashed arrow with it dashed line, it represent a control flow. That means, for example, a control is passed from input unit to the CPU unit, from CPU to the output unit. So majority there are four portion: input unit, output unit, CPU unit and storage unit. So first let us discuss with the input unit. So input unit, it is kind of a link between what? It is a link from external environment with the computer, so that we can pass our data and instruction from external device or external environment to the computer. Input unit accept a data from various input devices and passed it to computer for further processing or directly to store in your storage unit. So what does input unit do? So the first function is to retrieve information from external world. Then the second function of an input unit is to convert human readable data to the computer understandable form. That means in your binary form. Whenever I speak, data is provided to the computer. So first my question is, how do we provide data to computer? Is there any device? Yes. For example, this keyboard. This keyboard is an example of an input device through using which we can pass our data to the computer. The second one is your mouse. Okay, using mouse also you can provide various information to your computer. So whenever I use my keyboard, I am typing, for example, I am Parul and I am professor by profession. So over here I am providing my data in human readable form. I am providing my data in human readable form. Is your computer is capable to understand human readable form? No. So there has to be something that convert your human readable data into your computer understandable language, that is in your binary language. So in input unit there is a input interface that convert human readable data into a computer understandable form. Okay, then this data can be directly stored into your storage unit, or it can be passed to your CPU for processing. Now let us discuss our second part, that is output unit. So the task of a output unit is exact of that of input unit. output unit. Output unit passed data to external environment from computer. For example, if I am watching movie, then what is that? I am watching movie. So it is an example where your movie is stored into your storage unit, that is in your secondary storage, and by playing it you are retrieving that data. Okay, so in input unit there was a input interface. Okay, so over here there is a output interface, but the function of output interface is exact opposite of a input interface. Over here output interface convert binary form binary form data into a human readable form, so that we can understand it, so that we can read our PDF file, we can watch movie and various extra. So output unit, it is a link, it links computer with the external world. Over here we can directly retrieve data from CPU also. That means a processed data, or I can say a result of a processing, I can directly retrieve that data from CPU itself. Now let us discuss storage unit. So in storage unit there are two parts. That is two kind of storage: secondary storage and primary storage. Secondary storage, that means it is your read only memory, ROM. That means in secondary storage data is in the form of read only. Okay, you cannot edit data over here. Whereas in primary storage it is a kind of a RAM, random access memory. That means you can randomly access your data and you can process it, and you can read it. So data from storage unit to CPU are passed, and it is data is being flowed from storage unit to the CPU and vice versa. Whenever I talk about secondary storage, for example hard drive, okay, so it is a non-volatile, memory, whereas RAM, it is a volatile memory. That means your data will be gone whenever power is off. Now let us discuss CPU. CPU contain two major parts, that is a control unit and the arithmetic and logic unit. This both portion jointly known as a CPU, that is a central processing unit. So this CPU act like a brain of your computer. For example, if I ask you what is function of your brain in our body, okay, so your answer would be like to understand things, to manipulate things, to interpret, to make decisions. Okay, so this is same applicable to CPU also in computer. Your CPU is capable of handling as well as controlling all the events in the computer. It controls all the peripheral devices, and it can generate various kind of event to execute and control every action in computer. Then there is a arithmetic and logic unit. Arithmetic and logic unit is used to perform various kind of arithmetic and logical operation. For example, addition, subtraction, multiplication, and various logical operation like AND operation, OR operation. So what is in ALU? So basically ALU is a combinatory circuit which will perform various operation on data. Data can be directly from input unit, or it can be retrieved from your storage unit, and after processing of this data, after applying appropriate operations on data, this data can be again stored to storage unit, or it can be directly provided to the output unit. So this is a block diagram of a computer. Later portion we will discuss in our next video. Thanks for watching. Hope you like it.